Hello, folks. Welcome to the Mindset Artistry Podcast. I'm your host, Dave Paolo. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the Mindset Movement. This is episode number 16. It is what it is, what we can learn from the Stoics. I'm going to specifically be talking about 3 quotes from Marcus Aurelius, who's widely recognized as one of the best Stoics ever. And I have to agree, his book Meditations is amazing. It is full of great information, great content, as you would say today. You can learn a lot from him because everything he pretty much said at the time still holds true to today. And, those virtues, those principles that he talks about, how to look at life, how to look at society, how to look at all the things around you, family, friends, all of it, it's still very, very in tune with what we see today, which is amazing. So I'm going to do 3 of his quotes, like I said, talk about them a little bit, and just show how much it is still very in line with today, even though he was around thousands of years ago. But you will see Marcus Aurelius a lot when people do talk about quotes and motivation and Stoics, and there's a reason why. I mean, he was so on point. He really was, and he learned from the Stoics before him. So why I wanted to title this episode "It Is What It Is" is because that is really the most, one of the most Stoic things you can say. And, maybe a more common way of looking at things, but it really is. Like, whatever's going on, whatever is happening around you, whatever is happening from outside factors, third parties, all these other things that you can't directly control, it is what it is, okay? And when you adopt that mindset that it is what it is, and whatever comes my way, I'm going to deal with it. I'm going to figure out a solution. I'm going to figure out the best way to come out ahead on this, or get through it, or whatever you got to do. Once you have that mindset and that mentality that it is what it is, and I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm just going to deal with it. When you get there, when you adopt that, it will make you better. It will make your life better. It'll make it easier for you to navigate through your life. It'll make it easier for you to get through things. It'll make it easier for you to overcome things and to be successful in life, plain and simple. And look, at the end of the day, that's really what it is. It is what it is. And no matter what you say, no matter what you complain about, no matter what you cry about, sorry, I just got attacked by a gnat. Right? Bit you, buddy. Anyway, it is what it is. You get attacked by a gnat sometimes when you're doing your podcast, and you just deal with it and you keep going. So, when you adopt that mindset and you realize it is what it is, whatever's going on around you, you're going to deal with it, you will get better. So I'm going to give you 3 quotes from Marcus Aurelius, and the first one is a little bit of a follow-up from last week, okay? I did a podcast about you have 3 different options in any scenario in your life. The first one was address it, try to fix it, try to find common ground, try to figure out a way to, work together, work with it, work with your environment, whatever it is. The second one was to just leave the situation completely, quit, move away, avoid it, break up with that person, leave the job, whatever it is. And then the third one was, if you can't do either one of those 2, you shut up and deal with it. And this one is a little bit more of a follow-up of the shut up and deal with it, because what I meant by that was, if you do stick around and you do stay in that situation and you can't fix it and you don't want to leave it, you sitting around complaining about it, crying about it, making it a more toxic situation, bringing everyone else down around you, having a piss poor attitude, being negative, having a terrible mindset, that is not the answer, right? And a lot of that stems on complaining, crying about things. And we see this all the time, where everyone has this woe is me, victimhood mentality, and they want to cry about things and they want to complain about things, and it doesn't fix or solve anything. You're not fixing the problem. All you're doing is making it worse, okay? So this first quote is right in line with that. Don't be overheard complaining, even by yourself. So this goes in, don't complain to others, but don't even just complain in general, where that is going into your own subconscious mind, where it hears you complaining, it hears you having a bad attitude, it hears you crying and just, being a victim constantly and consistently. That is not helping you. That does not help anyone. It's surely not going to help yourself. It's not going to help the situation that you're in. And all it's doing is just showing how weak you are. All it's doing is showing others how weak you are and proving to yourself how weak you are, because you can't control your emotions, you can't control your tongue, you can't control your thoughts, and you want to cry and complain about things instead of fixing them, instead of avoiding them. And then what that does is just makes the situation worse. Like I said, it's only going to keep you in a bad state of mind. It's only going to keep you with a bad attitude. It's only going to make things worse for you and the people around you. So the more that you stay there and the more you just complain about things or complain about everything, right? Like most people, some people have a problem with everything, right? They complain about this, that. It's always someone else's fault. They're always complaining, all these other things. These people are toxic. You need to stay away from these people because they're the type of people that have a problem with everyone and they're never the problem when really they are the problem, okay? And most of their behaviors will be stemmed around crying, complaining, blaming others, always being a victim, not having accountability, right? Like you see how this stuff's all interconnected. So this is a great quote. Stop complaining. Don't complain to others, and surely don't complain to yourself because it is not helping or fixing anything, okay? So yeah, that's just one quote from Marcus Aurelius, and like I said, it's a little bit of follow-up from what I did last week, which was the reason why I wanted to do this podcast, because I feel like that last one needed to be elaborated on a little bit more, which I just did. So the second one is, and I'm reading this, if it's endurable, endure it. Stop complaining. So, going right in line with that, look, we're going to go through tough things in life. Life is not easy. If you're trying to accomplish something great, it's not going to be easy, right? You are going to get hit lots of different things in your life that are going to be very difficult. They're going to be hard. They're going to be abrasive. They're going to be annoying. They're going to, upset you. So look, that that's happening, right? And let's just go back to what I said in the beginning of the podcast. It is what it is. And this is one of the things I tell myself every day. I have a little mantra, and one of those steps is, look, you're going to deal with difficult things. You're going to deal with them. Some guy's going to cut you off the road. You're going to get an email for work at work that's not, you're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to put out a fire. You're going to have to fix it. Something's going to happen at home. Something could break. My dog's going to throw up on the floor. Whatever it is, all the way down to the point, like, God forbid, a loved one dying. Like, that's going to happen, okay? It's inevitable that happens in your life. Bad shit happens. And look, you could try to mitigate it. You could try to be as prepared as possible, which I suggest. But at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to stop bad things from happening, okay? There's too many hands involved in life. There are too many forces involved in life. Society, the government, other people, whatever's going on around out there, all these different things. It's unavoidable, right? Like, tough things are going to happen. You can't manage everyone, but what you can do is manage yourself. That is the most important thing. And what you can do is manage your brain, your mindset, your mentality. That's where it starts. When you have a good mentality and a good mindset, and you already, prepared in your mind that, yeah, bad things are going to happen, right? Look, then you're prepared for it. You're ready for it. You know it's going to happen. So then you don't have to overreact. Then you don't have to get super emotional about things. You don't have to lose your temper. You don't have to lose your cool, right? Because these things are going to happen. You already knew it was going to happen, right? So, that's a big deal. So, like, you need to understand when it comes to this quote, like, if it's endurable, endure it. Look, there are some things that are going to happen in your life that are going to be much harder. Like, I used the example of someone passing away, a loved one, right? That's a lot harder to endure than some idiot that, cuts you off on the road and gives you the finger or something, right? That one's going to take a little more time. That pain is going to need to heal. There may be some trauma that comes from that, right? That is tougher. But guess what? You could still endure it. And I'm a perfect example. I've lost many people close to me in my life, all right? Mainly my father. I lost him when I was 15 years old, right? It was horrible to go through, but I got through it. I endured it, right? I say this all the time. You are 100% of all the things that you've endured in your life, okay? Some things might have been harder. Some things might have took a more time to get through it. Some things still leave a scar, right? And you still have trauma from it. But at the end of the day, you're still alive, so you endured it, right? You got through it. You are 100%. You did not die. You didn't kill yourself. So, you're still here. So you're 100% in that category. Stay with it, though. right? Enduring things is a different process for everyone, but you need to understand you got through so much other really tough and horrible things in your life so you can get through anything else that life throws at you. Is it going to be hard? Is it going to be difficult? Yes. But if it's endurable, endure it, okay? And, when you have that mentality and you have that mindset and you can look back at other hard things that you've been through in your life and say, I got through that. I know I can get through anything that comes my way. That's armor that you're wearing, okay? And when you can look at that and you can take strength from that and deep down inside that you're going to be okay, that's powerful, all right? David Goggins talks about this. He calls it the cookie jar, where he has this basically a cookie jar stored in his mind, and all these things that he went through, got through, overcame, endured, he looks at those as cookies, right? So when he's going through something tough, he has to remind himself that, hey, you got through this, you did this, you got through this, and he calls it the cookie jar, and that's a good way to look at it. It really is. Whatever's going on in your life, you can look back at other hard and difficult things that you've been through in your life and say, hey, I got through that, I endured that, I can get through this as well. That's strong. That's powerful. Like I said, that's armor. All right. So another great quote and something that we can live by. So the last one, which is kind of just an overall mindset quote from him, which is a great one. The happiness in your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. And I wanted to save this one for last because this takes in everything, right? It takes in the stop complaining. It takes in the stop being a victim. It takes in the having a great mindset, making sure the quality of your thoughts are good and not negative. When you do that, when the information that you're taking in, your attitude that you have, the content that you consume, the way that you look at things, having that Stoic mentality, that is what it is mentality, when you have that and the quality of your thoughts are good and the quality of your thoughts are positive, and the quality of your thoughts are solution-driven and not problem-driven, that will get you ahead. That will make you successful, okay? But why I wanted to say this one last is, now is a perfect example. And I just brought up that, the content that you consume, what you're reading, what you're watching, what you're listening to, right? Look, right now is a very turbulent time. There's a lot going on. There are wars all over the place. The political climate here in the United States is crazy. There is unrest. There is lots of unrest in other countries. There's basically a civil war going on in the UK. We have, real wars going on actually in multiple different places in the world. There is, the economy's jacked up. Crime is a mess here in the United States. Inflation's a mess. All these different things, right? And look, they're happening, and it is what it is. And that's the way I got to look at a lot of those things, because there's not a lot about all those things that I can actually directly change or fix. I don't have the control to do that. But what I do have the control over is my mind. What I do have the control over is the information that I consume. What I do have control over is how I take all these things, look at them, and then, what that does to me, how that's going to make my mindset. Is that going to put me in a funk? Is that going to give me a bad attitude? Is that going to make me look at everything negatively? Is that going to, am I going to get that and project that on other people, right? So what are you talking about? What are you talking to people about? Are you talking about negative things? Are you gossiping? Are you talking bad about people? All this stuff, you may not realize it, but it weighs on your subconscious mind. The more that you feed all this shit into your brain, it is going to reflect in how you are in life. It's going to mess up your attitude. It's going to mess up your, production, whatever you're doing, work-wise, career-wise, business-wise. It's going to mess up your relationships. So by consuming the right information, by consuming good information, hey, yeah, you have to be aware of what's going on, but don't let it consume you and bring you down, put you in a bad mindset, put you in a negative mindset, and taking it a step further and feeding your mind with good information, positive things, motivational videos, listen to good books, whatever it is, podcasts like this. Fill up your brain with good information. Yeah, all that stuff is going on out there. That's true. We're not saying it's not, but if you sit there and you load up your brain on all these bad and negative things going on, it's going to hurt you. It's going to damage you. It's going to mess up your mindset, and it's going to mess up whatever you're trying to do in life, plain and simple. So yeah, you need to know it's happening, you need to know it's there, but you can't let it bog you down and consume your whole entire life and ruin your attitude and ruin everything that you're trying to do. Okay, it is what it is. And for the things that are out of your control, the things that you can't control, there's really no reason for you to be afraid. There's really no reason for you to be in this perpetual state of fear of things, because look, there's nothing you can really do about it. It is what it is. Whatever's going to come from with it, you're going to deal with it, and you're going to endure it, and you're going to get through it. Okay, so that's how you look at all these things together. These 3 quotes, I love them. They're amazing quotes. They're great quotes, but just a great way to have a more positive mindset, a good mindset in life. And when you do, you will be able to accomplish more. You will be able to be happier. You will be able to make yourself better and the people around you better, and hit your goals, hit your targets, and find more success. Plain and simple. I've never seen someone that has a good attitude, does all the right things, and still, end up on the wrong side of things all the time. Are tough things going to happen? Are things going to be unfair? Yes, it's unavoidable. That's life. Life is hard. Life is unfair. But the more prepared you are, the better mindset that you have, the better off you'll be. Plain and simple. So that's it, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the Mindset Movement. I will see you all next week.